Praise the Lord, all of you. Myself, Anita Karki, economics teacher for class 12th arts. I hope all my students are in good health and high spirit. So with this, let us begin our second chapter, some basic concept of macroeconomics. In this chapter, we will study about classification of good, concept and components of consumption expenditure, investment expenditure, circular flow of income, that is real flow and money flow, and about sectors of economy and stock and flow. Let us begin our first topic, that is classification of goods. The goods can be classified in two categories. First is final goods and intermediate goods, and second is capital goods and consumption goods. Final goods are those goods which are out of the process of production and are ready to be sold in the market, or they have crossed the boundary line of production and are ready to be used by the final users. What does it mean, out of the boundary line? That means their process of production is completed and they are ready to be sold in the market. They can be used either by the consumers for their final satisfaction or to satisfy their basic needs, or they can be used by the producers or can be purchased by the producer for the further production of goods and services. For example, the producer can purchase machines, plant or tractor or harvester by the farmer to be used in the process of agriculture. Second is intermediate goods. Intermediate goods are those goods which are still in the boundary line of production and they have not crossed the boundary line of production and they are still in the process of production. It means these goods are not ready to be sold in the market. They can be in the form of raw material or they can be in the form of goods for the resale for the further production of goods, such as wood is used for the further production of making furniture or making the other items of woods. Second classification of good is consumption goods or final goods. Consumption goods are those goods which are directly or indirectly used by the consumer to satisfy their needs, like the household used milk for various purposes, ice cream used by the consumer to be consumed. These consumption goods can be classified in further four categories, that is durable goods, semi-durable goods, non-durable goods or non-material goods or services. Durable goods are those goods which are used for many years or several years and have relatively high value. For example, TV, car, fridge, etc., which we purchase once and they are used for more than 10 to 15 years. Okay. Second is semi-durable goods. Semi-durable goods are those goods which are used by the consumers for more than 1.5 year or more than 1 year, some more years. So for example, clothes, crockery, furniture, etc. are used in this category of semi-durable goods. Third is non-durable goods or single-use goods. Non-durable goods are those goods which are used once and they are finished. For example, milk, once we use, it is finished. We cannot use this good again. So they are known as a single-use consumer goods. Fourth is non-material goods or services. These are not any kind of goods, but they are services which are being used or which are being availed by the people in the form of doctors, lawyers or household or domestic servants, etc. So these were the categories of consumption goods. In the same category we have one more type of good, that is known as the capital goods. Capital goods are the goods which are used for the process of production. These are also known as a fixed assets. These are used for the production of other goods and they are having relatively high value. Okay. Capital goods once purchased can be used for more than 1 year for the further production of goods, but these goods keeps on decreasing their value in the process of production. Okay, now we have read about two broad categories of goods. One is final goods and intermediate goods, and second capital goods and consumer goods. Here again I want to tell you one more important thing related with this topic, that is all capital goods are producer goods, but all producer goods are not capital goods. Just now I have explained you that all capital goods are those goods which help in the process of production. And producer goods are also those goods which are used in the process of production. So what does this line mean? All capital goods are producer goods, but all producer goods are not capital goods. Okay. Producer goods are those goods which are used in the process of production of other goods. But these goods can be again in two ways. First, in the form of raw material, and second, in the form of fixed assets. In the form of raw material, like wood is used for the making of furniture. Once the wood is used to convert into furniture, this wood cannot be used again. So these are known as a single use goods. Whereas machines and plants can be repeatedly used for the production of goods again and again. So these are known as durable use producer goods. That's why it is said that all capital goods are producer goods, but all producer goods are not capital goods. Okay student, this was the first topic which we have completed. Now I am taking the second topic, which is a easy one. That is, what do you understand by stock and flow? Stock refers to the quantity of a commodity which is measured at a particular point of time. That means it is measured at a particular point. It does not have any time dimension. It will only have a specific point of time. For example, point of time like 4 p.m., Monday, 1st April, etc. Whereas flow refers to the quantity of a commodity which is measured during a specific period of time. That means it has a time dimension. It can be measured over a particular period of time, such as in hours, in months, in year, etc. We can say the example of stock is wealth or capital, or the amount which is kept in the bank. It is the example of stock. Because when we talk about a bank deposit, at a particular time, we have some amount in the bank. The second moment, if we withdraw some money from the ATM, the bank deposit will decrease. The second moment, the stock will decrease. Whereas income is the example of flow. Interest on capital is the example of flow. Number of births is the example of flow, because it is measured over a period of time, in month, in hours, etc. So this was the second topic. Now we will proceed to our third topic. What do you mean by, or what are the various sectors of an economy? According to macro point of view, economy is often divided into 4 sectors. First is household sector. Second is government sector. Third is producer sector. And fourth is external sector. Household sector is that sector which includes consumer of goods and services, and they are also the owners of factors of production. And producer sector is that sector which uses this household sector for the process of production by hiring the factors of production from the household sector in the form of land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, etc. Third sector is government sector. Government sector includes government as a welfare agency as well as a producer sector. As an agency, it performs a welfare activity, and as a producer, it also involves himself in the process of production. And the last sector is external sector. External sector is also known as rest of the world sector. It includes all those activities which is related with the export and import of goods and services, and also with the flow of capital from our country to the rest of the world. So here student, we have read about 4 sectors of the economy. Next we will read about what is intersectoral flow. Each sector of an economy is dependent on other in one or the other way. That means there is a interdependence between various sectors of economy, and this interdependence is known as intersectoral flow. This flow can be either in the form of goods and services or in the form of money. When this flow is in the form of goods and services between different sectors, it is known as a real flow. But when this flow is in the form of money from one sector to another sector, then it is known as a money flow. Okay. Real flow refers to the flow of goods and services between different sectors of the economy. To make it more clear, we can take simple two-sector economy where there are two sectors. One is household sector and the other is producer sector. From the household sector, the factor services such as land, labor, capital, etc. flow from the household sector to the producer sector for the production of goods and services. And when these services are used by the producer sector, then producer sector provides goods and services to the household sector to satisfy their needs. So in this case, from both the sectors, there is a flow of goods and services, and that's why it is known as a real flow. The second flow is money flow. It refers to the flow of money across different sectors of the economy. Here we will see in this same two-sector economy, when the producer sector has hired or purchased factor services from the household sector, in return it makes payment or provides reward to these household sector for their factor services in the form of rent, wages, interest and profit. So this is also in the form of money. Similarly, when the household sector receives this money, it also purchases the goods and services produced by the producer sector to satisfy their needs. And when they purchase these goods and services, they purchase by paying them money. So this is known as a money flow among two sectors of the economy. Okay. Next is this circular flow, that is the flow of money. Circular flow of income refers to the unending flow of activities of production, income generation and expenditure involving different sectors of the economy. Each activity is the cause as well as the consequence of the other activity. For example, we can see household sector and producer sector. Production in the producing sector generates income for the households who are the owners of factors of production. Similarly, expenditure by the households generates demand for further production. And in this way, production, income generation and expenditure are the three phases of circular flow in the economy. So students, for today this much only. Remaining part of this chapter we shall continue in the next class. Your task is only to revise the explained and the notes given to you. Stay home, stay safe.